So I go out and I'm leaving town, and then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't care how much time this chunks out of me. I don't care how much money it costs. I have to go to the island. So I got the boat and I go to the island. But I stayed all night in the port. So I just did internet the whole night, just fucking around on the internet, you know, watching Project Camelot interviews that I hadn't seen before and stuff. And then watching the World Cup, you know. And then I took the boat the next morning into Ios. And then I went over to camping far out camping on the main beach. And it was like this big Club Med type of place with these nice pools and like kids all over the place and like drinks, people drinking all day long on the big beach right there. And it was only €6 a night to camp, and it was cool, man. And then that night I did the party scene over on Ios and I filmed it, and it was really fun. Just great music. And I wish I had remembered that. I didn't even think about it, but I wish I had gone into those places the next day or whatever, you know, the next night, and just been like, yo. And they probably would have done it, because all the DJs, you know, and the bartenders were just travelers like me, you know, and all the door people who were just there to party, and been like, yo, man, here's my card. Fucking fill that shit up with the music you were playing last night. But I didn't. I forgot. But yeah, I was there like 7 morning, but I didn't get any sleep the night before because I was up in the terminal all night. So I was just like, I crashed at like 7. I just like literally passed out on the bench at the after party bar, and then I went back and slept in, and then I hung out at the nude beach the next day, which is cool, all day long, hanging out in the sand naked, and then swimming naked, you know, and then like floating in the water, and it was like really salty water, and I was basically like just floating on top of it. It was really cool. And then that night I partied the next night, which was fun. Didn't drink quite as much. The first night I drank like 23 drinks. And then I did the nude beach thing the next day, and then I stayed there 2 nights, and then I took the boat back and did a little hike to the top of the island, you know, and stuff. And then I took the boat back, and that was I took the fast ferry there, which is 4 hours, and then the slow ferry back, which is a lot cheaper. The ferry down there was €50, and then the ferry back was €31. And I wish I'd known about the ferry over there. Maybe, I don't know. But I used it as like a hotel because I just slept there. But I only got like a couple hours of sleep. And I was like dreaming when they, you know, did the thing and woke us up when I got there. I was like, fuck, because I was sleeping so well. So then I rolled in at like 4:30. And I wanted to do like, because I did so many videos in iOS, I wanted to do like the converting and everything and splicing before I started touring for some reason. So I was there for 4 hours doing that, just like screwing around on the internet and waiting for the computer to do its thing. So then I didn't get rolling until 8:30 after getting like 2 hours of sleep. So then I'm riding through this hot day, and I go over 3 passes, 2 at like 2,500 feet, and then another one 3,000 feet to go to Delphi. And I ride into Delphi, and by the time I got into Delphi, I was exhausted because it was 100 miles over 3 passes, 2 hours of sleep the night before after like a week of not riding, just drinking. So, and I didn't eat enough that day. Like I didn't pack food because I had kind of gotten out of the habit of doing that, so I was tired. But anyways, then the next day I did Delphi, which is beautiful, and I guess I'll talk about Delphi when I do Greece, but it was like on the side of a mountain, kind of like Machu Picchu, except, you know, not on the top mountain, on the side of the mountain. And they had like a huge amphitheater up on the top, and then stadium, and then an amphitheater, and, you know, the huge temple of Apollo. And I mean, damn, back in the day, Greece they had a civilization. But I'm going to talk about that later. 4:20 right now. Look at my watch. So I spent the whole day there. It was like a whole day thing. So then I just rode my bike down to the next campsite. It was just a couple kilometers because I wanted to have internet, and they wanted to charge me like too much, like €3 an hour for the internet there. So I went to the next place to do internet, and they charged me there too, but it was only €3 for the whole thing. And it included electricity, which is good because that means I can have my computer plugged up all night and charge, you know, for like if my battery was low. And same thing with my video camera. Like I'm going to need to charge my video camera, and that takes forever to charge the computer and video camera, you know, like hours. So, but I'm going to go into Sofia, Bulgaria in a couple of days, probably day after tomorrow, roll in there, and I'll stay in like a hostel, or maybe even couch surf, because there's like a half dozen chicks who said they would let me stay there, so just write all of them. So anyways, or a campsite, probably like a hostel though. Anyways, man, I was stupid. I was transferring data for like a couple hours, and then I turned my computer off before it was done. And like right after I hit the button, I was like, oh fuck, I forgot. Oh shit. So I had to start all over again, and it wasn't done like as it takes forever. It takes like 5 hours to transfer this shit. These videos. It's crazy. So so you know, I was doing that all night, and then at like 4:30 in the morning it was done. So then I started 4:30 in the morning or 5 in the morning. Well, at 4:30 in the morning I woke up because I kept feeling something crawling over me and then biting me, like crawling down my leg and then biting me at like where my legs fold. Like, and it hurt really bad, and I was like, something's definitely in here. And I heard the night before, right on the outside of my tent, something like big was like slithering around really slowly. So I think when I like emptied out the dirt and whatever from my tent, whatever was on the outside got on the inside. Anyways, it's a fucking centipede, like 4 inches long, in my coffin-sized tent with me, yellow. And I was like, whoa, dude. I mean, I'm glad that thing wasn't like crawling on my face, in my mouth, biting me. Ugh. So I get out and I pee and I come back and I open up my tent, and as soon as I opened up my tent, this thing knew exactly what to do. It jumped out of my tent. Only it beelines it for my shit, you know, my gear, because I had it outside of my tent, because like I trust Greeks. And I'm like, no. So I get my sandal and I push him away, and he runs back in there, and again I'm like, push him away, and then he zooms away, you know, like so fast, like walking pace. You know, and there's this concrete, you know, divider, and he just goes so fast. So anyways, I get back in my tent and I start doing the Windows Movie Maker splicing, which takes forever too. So anyways, that took until like 10:30 in the morning. So I didn't get rolling until like 11:30. It was 11:17 when I started rolling. And I went over like 3 big passes that day. And I took a wrong turn when I went into Thermopylae, where the battle was with Leonidas, and I rode down towards Athens for a ways, like 10 kilometers, and then I realized I went the wrong way. That's kind of something you do when you first begin bike touring, is you're taking wrong turns all the time because you don't look close enough at the map. So I kind of lost my touch, you know. But then I went into the next town, and then I went over this huge pass. It was like the 3rd pass of the day. And then I went over it and then down this other town, and I was like, and then I was like, oh shit, I need money. I only had 15 euro left, and but nowhere in this town had a money machine, and nowhere in the town had a where I could buy food with my card, except for one little market. So I got a bunch of food there, and then I rode out, and then I had a shower with a hose with these bakery guys. Well, this is the first time I've done that, so that's a good thing. If you're good with the cold, high pain tolerance, or you're at a place where it's warm, you know, you should do that. You should, you know, days coming to the end, just go to look at a hose and ask the people if you can just borrow their hose for a couple minutes, and then shower, and you get yourself clean. So I did that, and I went out of the town, and then I look, and even though I had gone down a valley before that, I think, yeah, because I'd gone down the hill from that pass, down a big hill, into a valley, and then I rode across the valley, and then I get to that town, and then I get to the other side of the town, and it's down this another huge hill to this other big valley. That was trippy. I was like, whoa. So anyways, I was like, all right, let's camp just on the top of this valley. So I camped on this nice like field, kind of like this, at about the same altitude, I think, 1,400 feet. I'm at like 1,800, 1,900 feet now. And I camped there, and that's where I did my video. The video I'm doing now, only a lot shorter, just 10 minutes, which I erased accidentally. And it was nice because I was in my tent. It was like breezy, you know, and cool and not too humid, and it was nice. And I bought a bunch of food at the supermarket, and I was eating it. which I need to get in the habit again. I fucked up today, money-wise, getting expensive ass food. So then the next day I rode, and that was only like 89 miles I rode that day. Because I guess I just wasn't riding fast, and I started late, and I lost the touch, took that wrong turn, which kind of demoralized me. So then the next day I rode into Olympia, and I went over a couple of mild passes, and then I got the money out of a machine at a supermarket. I'm gonna pause it again.